Welcome to this first episode of the C Sharp Beginner Tutorials. In this episode, we are going to build our first Hello World application. And it's a very basic application that prints text into the screen. It's just going to print Hello World, but you can customize the message later. To start, you just need to open Visual Studio Code and open or create a new folder or an empty folder, open any empty folder, then open the terminal. So to open the terminal, just head over to the terminal menu, then click on New Terminal. Wait for the terminal to initialize, then type .NET New Console and name it whatever you want. For us, we're going to name it Episode 1 Hello World. Then hit enter. So the application will be created, a new folder will be added here. We are just going to navigate to that folder and start our application from there. To do that, you just say cd hello world and then clear the screen by using the cls command. So now our hello world project is ready to start. So to start the application, you just say .NET run and it will run the application. So as you can see, my hello world is printed. And this is actually the default application. Whenever you create a new application or your console application, it will come with a default message, say, hello world, which is printed to the screen. So let's examine the files that are generated when you create a new project. So you have program.cs, which is the main file of your project. And then you have this CS proj, which is the project configuration file. So we usually don't touch this file. We usually work on the program.cs or other CS files whenever we need to. So as you can see here, this is the instruction or the line of code that is responsible of showing this hello world message. So let's run it again and see the hello world. So it's just printing this hello world to the screen, and it's a very basic program that runs on your machine. So whenever you want to see a hello world, you can just head over to this program and then or open this program in Visual Studio Code and run it. You will see this hello world. We can always customize the hello world message by just changing this to friends. Hello friends. Then save. Try to run this program again and you'll see hello friends instead of hello world. So it's a very basic application, but it's a very good starting point to dive into the .NET framework. So let's now understand how programming works and how we told our computer to print a message on the screen and what happened exactly when we run the program. So as you can see here, we said console.writeLine hello friends, and the computer responded with a message that is printed on the screen. So let's try to run it again. .NET run. So first we need to go to that project. So we say cd hello world. Then we can say .NET run. Once we hit enter, so the program will read, or the compiler in our case will read what we have wrote as instructions, and it will do that on the screen. So in this case, we said print a message on the screen by calling this method from the console class, and it did it. All this happens using the programming language C Sharp, and the compiler took the role of taking this instruction or human instruction and convert it to a different format or a binary format that the computer can understand, and the computer responded back with what we have told it to do. So, what is a programming? Programming is about giving clear instructions to the computer to do some tasks. Here is how it works. So, first we start with defining the programming language. Think of programming language like C Sharp as a way to write instructions for a computer. These instructions, called source code or code, let humans communicate their ideas in a format a computer can eventually process. But there is a catch. Computers don't understand your code directly. It has to be translated, And that's the role of the compiler. So when we type this, so this follows a specific syntax in C sharp, and that syntax will be translated to a different format or a binary format, if you would, using the compiler. So, what is a compiler? A compiler is a tool that converts our human readable code, as you can see, console.writeLine and a message, into something that the computer CPU can understand. For example, when we run the program, our code is first compiled and then executed. Why this step is needed? Because computer work only with binary on-off signals, and our code uses words and symbols. So the compiler translates the code into binary so the computer can act on it. But of course, the compiler need to understand our human, let's say, code. And to do that, we need to follow a certain syntax or certain rules that the language impose. In this case, it's C sharp that imposes certain syntax. And the syntax actually is a fancy word for rules. In programming, syntax tells you how to structure your code, much like a grammar and punctuation in human language. In C sharp, syntax highlighting, which is a color code text, helps you spot error while you're coding. So let's say if I mistype the right line, it will highlight it immediately and it will suggest that use, let's say, quick fix here, change to right line. As you can see, the syntax or Visual Studio Code knows that this should be right line instead of right line without E. So console is actually a class that manage console interaction. The dot is a symbol that connects the class to its method. In our case, it's a write line method. So the write line method outputs messages to the screen. The parentheses delimiters the message that you're going to send as parameter to the write line. Then you have a semicolon to mark the end of the instruction. So in our case, we have only one instruction, and it tells the computer to print a hello friends. So we can always have another instruction to tell the computer something else. In this case, we're going to say write line, then another text here. When we compile, what will happen? So the first instruction will get executed. Then we execute this instruction to show the next message. And let's try. So .NET Run. As you can see, I told the computer to print this text first, then print this text. So there is an order here. It follows. So it starts by this instruction, then it gets to this instruction. So if I put this in the beginning, you will see that the compiler actually run this code and then run this instruction. So as you can see, another text is actually appearing. Then we have the hello friend after that. So that's it for this tutorial. I'll just quickly show you how to run the project without the need to rely on the command line. And to do that, you just open that project and open it in Visual Studio Code. So it's very simple. You say cd, then the folder name, in our case, hello world. I think I'm already there. I'll just say code.replace. So we'll open the project or open Visual Studio on that folder. Then you go to this run and debug. Click on run and debug. Then it will run your program here and you will see your compilation or your messages. So it's very simple. Rather than just like typing the command each time, you just click on this whenever you edit your text or your code. Then it will try to run that. So I'll just say hello world this time. Then I'll save. I click again. Take them some time to compile. Then we'll have our message once again. So we have 3 messages this time. So it's very, very convenient to use this run and debug instead of writing the command line each time. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for the next episode in which we're going to dive into the other basics of the C# language. If you find this tutorial helpful, be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment if you have a question. Thank you.